Shalom, shalom. You in live Isupk, Virginia, biblical scripture, Hebrew. You understand? We're going to get into the Sabbath service. All right. With that, Imadium, which means to stand, or Panya Hakwadam, which means to turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, and then in the English, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kwadash, Haya, Shimka, Yahweh, Malakwivka, Taba'a, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathanlanawa, Lakam, Kao, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawaf Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawath Yanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Panasaya One, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahataparath, Lavalamium, Aman, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever. So be it. Prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Baba Kushar, Nathan Lanawa, Haka, Haka, Larapa'a, Kal Makala, Wakal Marawa, Haka, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Haka, Haka, La Hakwiyam, Hamathiam, Haka, Arakawath, Hatama Allah, Lagarashan, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the water Aman. And in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'ala, Wahabayah, Saparia, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the water Aman. And in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Haharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Isaiah. Select. Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayasha, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Mekal Yawamam, Salakia, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wairak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Ra, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaathka, Wabawa'aka, Wa'aita, Ma'aid, Iwalam, Aman. And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83. Alahayim, Al Damayalaka, Al Takarash, wa Al Tashakwa, Al Kayahana, Awayabyaka, Yahama Yawan, wa Mashanayaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Ra'imaka, Salakia, Al Imaka, Ya'arayamwa, Sawad, Wayataya Aitazawa, Al Tazapa Wanyaka, Amorwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa'aitazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Ahalya, Adawan, Wayashima'alyam, Mawa'aba, Wahagorium, Gabal, Wa'imawan, Wa'imalak, Palashad, I'm Yeshabia, Taza War, Gum Asha War, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadyan, Kasaya Sara'a, Kayabyan, Banakal, Wayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayamawa, Ka'ira, Wakazaaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazal Manai, Kal, Nasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarisha, Lanawa, Ath, Na'awath, Alahayam, Alahayat, Shayatamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanyaraka, Ka'ash, Taba Ira Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Haryam, Kantaradapma, Basa Iraka, Wabasawapathka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Qualawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shemka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Salakia. Waya Ba'awa, Aidya Aid, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Da'aiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shemka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kal Harataza, Alma. And in the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, yea, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Abah and as Almunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth their wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. Blessings for the power structure. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shah, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazab Yah, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyam, Ha Saranyam, Ha Quatazayanyam, Ha Kayayawyam, Wa Ha Quatian, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, the water Amat. And in the English, bless you Yahweh and Yahweh Shah and Michael and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you. So be it. Curses, right? So the prayer for the plagues. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, skinheads, Aryan Nation, Posse Comitatus, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that try to stop us. And bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way and try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media and throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. Sar, which means to turn. All right. Yeshabim, which means be seated. All right. Go ahead. You in live. All right. Most High in Christ. Shalom. Shalom. Yahweh Shemal Athan by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Sister Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Burger Thumb. Brothers watching, joining us. Most High in Christ. All right. So we're going to get it. Go ahead. All right. Let's see what's going on. Okay. So we're going to start. We're going to be reading from Leviticus, the 19th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 12. Leviticus chapter 19 and 12 down to verse 19. That's what we're going to be reading today. Like the Lord's, his laws, he has rules on how we're supposed to function, how we're supposed to deal with one another, and also how we are supposed to deal with the other nations of people. You understand? All of this, everyone is equal. God loves everybody. We're all equal. That's not true. Nowhere in society is there such thing as equality. It does not exist. And by us being the only people that believe in that fairy tale myth of equality in our desperate attempt and plea to follow Martin Luther King's dream of marrying us into our oppressors and their society, we have completely forfeited our own way and love that we have for one another so that we can try to live life like an Arab or like an oppressor or like an Asian man or a Chinese and follow their customs and their gods and their way of living, because we have lost our rules on how the God of our fathers taught us how to live. And that is what we teach our people. That is what Christ taught. That's what the disciples in Paul's taught, contained here, not the disciples of Paul, the disciples and Paul. Paul was also one of Christ's disciples. You understand? The same river that flows throughout the entire Bible. So these rules and laws, this is the solution to all of the problems everyone's complaining about. All of you talking about gun violence, all of you, how do we stop this and stop the shootings? This is the solution to all of this. But the only way for you to learn the solution and learn how to apply it to your and our and everybody else's lives is to get in the Isupk and do your part to build the existing society, the body of Christ, where we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and where they are enforced, and we hold each other to strict, high standards. Unlike in the world where everyone is free to do and live however they want, make their own decisions, eat what they want, have sex with who they want, steal if they want, whore themselves out if they want, whatever they please, because America and our oppressors say you have the right to live whatever makes you happy in your truth and all that kind of nonsense. None of that is biblical, and that is the reason why we have these problems that have not been solved, but are the same problems decade after decade, generation after generation. So now we're going to start on Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 12. All right. It says, Wala'ah, the Shabaiwa, Bashema, Shalakia, Bashamya, La Shakwar, Wakalath, Af, Shum, Alahayaka, Anya, Yahweh, verse 13, La'ah, the Ishak, Af, Ra'aika, Wala'ah, the Gazal, La'ah, Talawa, Salakia, Thalyawa, Pa'ilaf, Shakaryam, Salakia, Shakayar, Afka, Aid, Bakwar, verse 14, La'ah, Thaqualal, Karash, Salakia, Karash, Walapanya, Wa'aid, Salakia, Iwar, La'ah, Thathan, Makash, Salakia, Makashal, Wayara'af, Ma'alahayaka, Anya, Yahweh. Verse 15. La'ah, Thaishawa, Iwala, Iwala, Bashama, Bamashapat, La'ah, Thasha, Salakia, Thasha'a, Panya, Dalah, Salakia, Dalah, door. Okay. Wala'a, Thahadar, Panya, Gadawal, Batazadak, justice. Thashapat, judge. I'm a Yathka, verse 16. La'ah, Thalak, Rakayal, I'm a Yak, La'ah, so like I'm a Yaka, La'ah, the Imad, La Io, Dum, Ra'ika, Anya, Yahweh, verse 17. La'ah, Thashana, Af, Akaya, Akayak, Bala, Balabak, Balabak, Balababak, Balabaka, Hawakak, Tawakayak, Af, Aya, Ima Yathak, Wala'a, Thasha'a, I will Ila Yawa, Shapat, verse 18. La'a, Thaquam, Wala'a, Thapar, Af, Banya, Imak, Wa'aharab, Wa'harabath, Wa'ahabath, Salakia, the Ra'ika, Kamawak, Salakia, Kamawak, Anya, Yahweh, verse 19. Af, Kakwathya, Tashamarwa, Bahamafka, La'a, Tharabai, Tharabaya'ah, Tharabaya'ai, Salakia, Tharabayai, Kala'ayam, Shadak, La'a, Thazarai, Kala'ayam, Wabagad, Kala'ayam, Sha'aitanaz, La'a, Ila, Aliyaka. All right. So that was Leviticus chapter 19, verses 12 through 19. All right, so let's start now. We're going to read it in the English. Right, it's important. That's why every Friday, all throughout Israel, we got the Hebrew language class. All the Isupk schools, make sure that you are in those Hebrew language classes so you can learn Hebrew, learn your vowels, your alphabet, your subject, verb agreements, your present, past tense. Learn all of those things there. All right. You want to make sure that you do that. You're in class every week. That way, when it comes time for the Sabbath service, you'll be able to follow along and incorporate our language, our native language, in our everyday lives. All right. So Leviticus chapter 19, These are instructions that the Lord has given to Moses, that the Lord is telling Moses to tell to the children of Israel. And these are God's instructions and orders on how we are supposed to carry ourselves everywhere that we are on the planet, wherever we go. These rules and laws were not specific to any land mass, any one location. You understand? It's going to give exactly how we are to function. All right. They contain our culture, our heritage. Our people are always looking for our identity, trying to become something, looking for an identity, whether it's a Moor, it's a Muslim, a Marine, a soldier, a Democrat, a Republican, a Rasta, a Buddhist, a Christian, a Baptist, gang, a street, a neighborhood, a part of some other community or nation and their religion or their philosophy and a way to live. Because the way that God commanded us to live, the God of our fathers taught us to live, we do not have those instructions because we have been raised to follow other people and their customs. All right. So now in Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 12, it says, "And ye shall not swear by my name falsely." Don't swear by the name of the Lord. Don't swear, period. Don't do that. All right. Profanity is not swearing. Just so you can get that Christianity off of you. Profanity is not swearing. Saying the B word, the F word, the A word, the S word, MF. That is not what swearing is. The Christian church has taught our people that. That's wrong. That's not what it means to swear. All right. Don't say you're going to do something and then not do it. Don't do that. Don't say I take an oath and I say I'm going to do this before the Lord. I'm going to be a priest of the Lord. I'm going to bring my life to the Most High, change my life, serve the Most High. Then you turn around and go back on your oath to be some bastard in the world, getting high, chasing whores. That's swearing. You understand? Don't do that. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. Don't profane the name of the Most High. The name of the Most High is not God. You understand? That's not what it means. The Christian church will teach you that goddamn is profaning the name of God. That is wrong. That's not what that means. The name of thy God, the name of thy power, you understand, is going to tell you what his name is in the same scripture. I am the Lord. So when it says here, thou shalt not profane the name of thy power. All right. Just 19. Leviticus 19. Let's see if we can get that up there. Leviticus 19 and we had 12. Let's break this down. Just a moment. All right, Leviticus 19, it says, neither shalt thou profane. Let's pull this word up and see what exactly this is talking about here. Profane, to begin to profane, to defile, to slay, to pollute. You understand? To pollute. To treat it like it's something. This is the definition of that word we're saying in halal. You understand? Halal. Chaallal. Halal. You understand? It says, thou shalt not profane. What does that word mean? So if you're reading in the Blue Letter Bible, it has a concordance for the Strongs. That word means to profane, to pollute, to defile, you understand, to slay, all right, to prostitute. The Lord says, don't prostitute my name. Don't profane my name. That is what that word means. So when you see the word profane, all right, to dilute, to defile, to pollute, to desecrate. How do you pollute the name of the Lord? The name of the Lord is holy. You understand? It says to violate the honor of, to dishonor. You understand? To treat as common. You profane the name of the Most High. You profane his name. You dishonor him, saying all gods are the same. That is profaning the God of the Bible. You dishonor him by saying that he's the same as Allah for the Arabs and Buddha and Brahma and Vishnu and all of those gods the Elamites, the East Indians serve, and the different gods that the Moabites, the Chinese serve, and all of their different Buddhist variations, and Allah and the different gods that the Arabs serve, and Aphrodite and Gaia and Nike and Marathon and, you know, and Thor and Odin. That's why you got days of the week named after the gods of these Romans who took Greek and gods from all of the empires that they wanted everyone to serve them, which is what the Roman Catholic Church created, which is what all of you Christians believe, an offshoot of different divisions of the Roman Catholic Church, separations that came just because Germans and other white men did not want to pay money to Rome, to the Roman Catholic Church. That is what all these other denominations that come out of the Protestant Church, that come out of the Roman Catholic Church. So to dishonor the Most High, every time you hear someone say, well, all gods are the same, all gods are the same, that is profaning the Most High. You profane the true living power, the God of this Bible, the God of the children of Israel. You belittle and dishonor him by equating him to these other gods of the nations. You understand? That's dishonorable. People say we all serve the same God. That is dishonoring. That's profaning the Most High. You understand? What is it to make common? That makes him common. You understand? As everybody else's God, because their gods cannot stop COVID. Their gods did not send wildfires, floods, earthquakes, hurricanes. They prayed to their gods. Mecca was closed for COVID because the God of the Bible that sends curses and life and death and plagues, that is the true living power. That's the God of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which is not the God of everyone else. So that is what it means. You shall not profane the Most High. All right? That does not mean saying what is known as profanity. That's not what it means. You understand? That does not mean the same thing. That's why you come to class to learn what's actually in the Bible versus all the Christianity that your mother and grandmother and preachers have been teaching you your whole life, which is a bunch of lies that doesn't make any sense. It's naked babies with wings, virgins having babies without sex, all kind of silliness. Rabbits laying eggs, a new year in the middle of winter when everything is dead. None of that makes any sense. It's all a bunch of lies. All right. What else is dishonoring the Most High? Saying that a woman can teach the Bible. That dishonors God. The Lord said, the flock of my pasture are men. Unto you, O men, do I call. You understand? Let a man lead the children of Israel, that they be not as sheep without a shepherd. Why? Because the Lord have deprived a woman of the wisdom that it takes to understand this Bible. The Lord did not put a spirit inside of a woman to rule and be in charge. That is why our families and communities are falling apart. Your kids shooting each other in the street, your marriages, relationships falling apart. Instead of men choosing what man he will give his daughter to, the daughter now chooses her own man. And a ton of problems from that. The child support court, juvenile court, divorce court, domestic court, all of the courts and police departments in the land, you understand, from the breakdown of our family and society, because we are the biggest consumers, because everyone else's society is intact, and we stopped making things once we started being Americans and joining the other nations, all of which is against God. It's dishonorable. Saying that everybody can serve the God of the Bible is dishonorable, because he has a chosen people that he created only to serve him. By taking the Bible and giving it to Africans, Arabs, East Indians, white men, Asians, everybody else, that dishonors God, that profanes God. You understand? It dishonors him. It makes him common. It belittles him. That's against God. So these are the commandments which our people, of course, would never know about unless you come into the Isupk to be taught these things. You'd have no idea what these scriptures mean. All right. And when it says, I am the Lord in English, it's capital Lord. In Hebrew, it says the Most High's real name, which is Yahweh in the Hebrew. All right. It's not Allah. It's not Jehovah. It's not Rasta. It's none of those things. It is Yahweh in the Hebrew. You understand? That is the Lord's proper name. All right. Verse 13, Leviticus 19 and 13. It says, thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor. And we have a big problem with this in the Black, Hispanic, Native American community. That is why Black people do not trust one another. So much hustling, so much scamming, so much lying. People sell you a box of shoes, and the shoes that you think that you're buying are Jordans really have a picture of a man doing a layup instead of the Jordan symbol, because you're defrauding your neighbor. You scamming him. You say, I got this much. You get it. It's not real leather. You say, you got this. You know, understand? I'm going to pay you $100. You give me $100. I'll give it to you right back next week. When I get paid, I promise. I got you. I got you. Next thing you know, next week comes. What happens? You call. He don't answer. She don't answer. You call. There's no answer. You leave a message. Now, before, you can get in contact with each other, no problem. Now, all of a sudden, it comes time to get your money back. Oh, I don't got it. Then you turn around and see that they do have it. You see they on the internet, Twitter and Facebook, taking vacations, new shoes, new this and that, living their best life, all while holding your $20, your $100. I ain't got it. I tell you, I get it. Don't defraud your neighbor. Don't be a lying, cheating, sneaky bastard, which is what us joining America made acceptable. It was not acceptable to be dishonorable and slimy and low down. Don't defraud your neighbor. You understand? Neither rob him. Don't rob your neighbor. Don't have sex with your neighbor's girl, his woman. You're robbing your neighbor. You understand? Don't rob your brother if you are his sister. Don't rob your man. Go have sex with some other man and try to lie and say the baby belongs to your man. You get on TV and make an absolute fool of your entire race with these goddamn paternity court shows as a joke. And you don't know who the father of the baby is because you've been such a whore that you've had sex with 4 and 5 different men, and now you don't know who the baby is. You defraud your child of having a family by you being a whore. You defraud your children of having a family with mother and father, husband and wife, which is what sex makes you. It makes you a wife. You defraud your man by having sex with another man. The Bible says don't defraud your neighbor. Don't rob him. Don't steal his children and run away and hold them ransom for child support. You rob your neighbor. You rob your brother. Rob another Black, Hispanic, or Native American man by doing these things. Don't defraud your neighbor. Don't have sex with a sister and then throw her away because you don't want to deal with her anymore, because the season changed, because it's winter, it's the summer. All of these silly, foolish, heathen, worldly things that are not our culture. You defraud that sister. You rob that brother. Don't do that. Don't sell someone a car and you know it's a ton of problems with the car and you got them believing that the car is in good working condition. Don't say, I'm going to come and work on your house and do a job, and next thing you know, you stop working on the roof. You leave a bunch of tools, you never show up again. Once you get paid, you diss a goddamn peer. I'm going to be there Saturday. I'm going to cut your grass. Saturday comes, you no show, but you've been paid. These Christian things, these dishonorable, disrespectful, evil things are against God. You being a low down, untrustworthy, lying, slimy, go along to get along, do whatever to survive, that is against God. God does not love a man or woman like that. God is against that. That's a very evil thing. And our society has been infected with the idea that God loves us no matter what. So the horrible behavior that we have makes us believe that it is acceptable because God doesn't care what we do anyway. You understand? Don't do that. Don't be that person. You understand? A scammer, a robber. Don't do that. That is not acceptable to God. God does not love us if we behave this way. God hates sinners. What is sin? 1 John 5:3. Sin means to break God's laws. These are God's laws that says do not defraud your neighbor. You some scammer, you some defrauder. God does not love you doing that. You got to stop that. You some liar that hustles everybody. You understand? We're not talking about giving people things for a deal. We are talking about you are selling things as though something is what it is not. Don't do that. God is against us for that. That has infected our community and God hates it. God is absolutely against our behavior as a people. That is why we keep getting killed all the time. That's why we keep getting shot all the time, keep getting murdered, keep getting kidnapped, keep getting cancer and strokes and AIDS and gout, all kind of health problems, because God disapproves of our behavior that you have been taught because of the failure of Christian preachers to educate us on what God actually said in the Bible. This makes it acceptable when God does not accept it. You understand? That's why we are so harsh, what you would seem in the Isupk, because you are used to Christians who don't have rules and morals and guidelines and standards to the level that God requires for our people to be under his protection and our societies to function properly. All right? It says, don't rob your brother. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. Somebody works for you. You're supposed to be able to pay them. Of course, we in captivity, our oppressor make you work for 2 and sometimes 3 weeks before they give you a penny. You got to hope that all the money is going to be there. And then when you get it, you find out taxes and this and that and that and this, 10 different subtractions on your check before you ever touch it. And then most of it, you already have to pay back to the oppressor for rent, food, clothes, transportation back and forth, insurance, your kids, your health care. All of your money is gone. That's slavery. And the Lord put us in captivity under our oppressors in these other nations because we did not keep these rules when the Lord set us up in our land. We did not keep these rules. You understand? And in order for us to come out of captivity, last fired, first hired, 9 to 5, 6 to 10, dead end jobs, horrible living, all of these problems, we are fighting to come out of them by changing our behavior that caused our Father to put these curses and punishments on us in the first place. You understand? So it says, him that is hired, don't keep that man's money. Don't keep his or her money. They should not have to wait until the morning to get paid. We are supposed to be so trustworthy that if you say, I'll be here at 10 and I'm going to work and do this and that, I should be able to pay you because I know that your word is good. Of course, in the world, you cannot trust brothers and sisters like that because they're liars in the world. They're thieves and scam artists and hustlers, everyone trying to get over on everybody. That is what our life became once we further join our oppressor. Once we live the way that God says, we can trust each other in the UPK. You better not leave your wife and your children around brothers or sisters in the world. You better not. You better watch them. You better limit the time that they spend with brothers and sisters that do not obey the Most High. Someone might feed them pork. They might give them a cigarette. They might pass the blunt to them. They might try to molest them. They might have them riding in the car while they got drugs and an illegal gun in the car, so that when you get pulled over, everybody goes to jail and they don't take their charge. You better be very cautious. Be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, or you'll be sitting somewhere in a terrible place wishing that you had. You understand? It's endless traps out here in this society that our people are unaware of, that it is important that the prophets that God set up educate our people on these. Don't keep that money all night till morning, all right? Verse Leviticus 19 and 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf. What does it mean to curse the deaf? Let's get there. Let's break that down in Hebrew. What does that mean? Don't curse to death. Someone with some medical ailment, something like that, you better make sure, like the Lord takes these things and he gets upset. Like we are not allowed to just behave and say and act any way. God does not accept that. The Christian church said God love you no matter what. God does not love you if you don't obey his commandments. God has two things. He loves and he hates. If God does not love you because of what you're doing, then the Lord hates you. You understand? And the Lord pays vengeance back to those that he hates. That's what we've never been taught. There's a reason these things are happening to us. All right? So let's get it. When it says, thou shalt not curse the deaf. What does it mean to curse? Qualal. Let's get that in the Hebrew. See, what exactly is Moses saying in these scriptures? Thou shalt not curse the deaf. What is the Lord saying? This is our language, all right? Thou shalt not curse the deaf. Qualal. What does it mean? It says to despise. Don't despise the deaf. What else does it mean? To be slight, to be swift, little account, to be light. Don't despise the deaf. To appear trifling, to be insignificant, to curse them, to make despicable, to make light, to treat with contempt, to bring to contempt or dishonor. That's what the Lord is saying. Don't bring to contempt or dishonor someone that has some medical illness, some physical ailment. You understand? This is talking about the deaf. Don't you make fun of some brother or sister because they are deaf. Who the hell do you think you are? You understand? You don't give ears, you don't give hearing, and you can't take hearing away. The Lord made that decision. Some mental illness, some health issue, something like that. Like the Lord is saying, do not curse the deaf. Don't belittle them, cause them any additional problems than they have. Now, this is not talking about taking abuse and letting people just run wild because they got some health condition or some medical problem. That's not what it's talking about. But it's saying, don't despise or belittle them. You make sure you teach this to your children. A lot of brothers and sisters grow up to be violent criminals from years and years of your evil, rude, no conscience having Christian children teasing and making fun of everybody. That's how a lot of serial killers are raised. You go look at some documentary and you'll find some serial killer. Listen to some documentary, go watch him. A lot of these brothers or sisters sitting in prison, they'll tell you about how they were teased and made fun of year after year, all through school, all through kindergarten, elementary school. You better make sure you teach your sons and daughters to stop doing that. The Bible says, curse no man to scorn in the bitterness of his soul. You better learn what to do with your mouth. Learn how to speak. Learn how to talk. Stop raising these spoiled, arrogant, selfish sons and daughters that only care about their hair, their nails, their beauty, their vanity, their Jordans, and how good they looked. You understand? No moral compass, no moral fiber, no sort of anything. Will kill a baby, prostitute themselves on the internet, have sex for phone bills and new phones and hair and all kind of silly things and a damn place to stay, just whoring themselves out. Better teach these morals that the Lord said. The Lord get angry and send death and plagues. That's why we dying so much. God is very concerned about how we conduct ourselves and live on a regular day-to-day basis. You understand? It says, nor put a stumbling block before the blind. Don't set any trap up before the blind. Someone that can't see, you trying to trap them up, or they're unaware of something, and you try to trip them up and set additional hurdles besides being blind. Don't do that. You're some evil, disgusting, low-down bastard, and God will hate you for it. You must understand that. Teach your sons and daughters that if we don't obey what God said, God will be against us. You understand? God will hurt us for disobeying him, so that they don't grow up and wonder why out of the blue some tragedy happens and dozens of brothers and sisters get hurt and lose their life and nobody knows why. This is why. You understand? You'll never learn unless you learn from the prophets that God set up to teach, which are only in the Isupk. It says, but thou shalt fear the Most High thy power. I am the Lord. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. What does that mean? Don't judge. Nobody judge. Don't judge. You can't judge. That's not biblical. There's judges everywhere. Judges all over the land. The concept that nobody should be able to judge except for God is absolutely foolish. It's foolish. There are laws and judgments put in place. If you run a red light, if you go over the speed limit, they have laws in place that you don't speed through certain areas. Why? Because kids might be playing in the street. They might run out and chase a ball. It's a residential neighborhood. It's a school. They might be running to get back and forth to class. They might not be paying attention. They have rules there, and there are judgments in place if you break those rules. They're there for a reason. Now, our oppressor is so unrighteous, he has judgments and punishments that go far beyond the crimes because he loves to oppress. The only reason we are under his authority is because we did not obey these rules that God gave us when we were in our own land and separate. And he warned us decade after decade, generation after generation, century after century, and we took it as a joke. And that is why we are in these conditions today in all of our cities, barrios, reservations, no matter where you are. The Caribbean, the tropics, Canada, North, South, Central America, wherever we are under these same punishments. And the Lord expects us to correct our behavior and obey his laws, statutes, and commandments. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor. Someone that is poor, because they are poor, that does not mean that they are supposed to get away with crime. You understand? That's a very foreign concept, that because of the poverty and the living conditions, that does breed crime. That is correct. It breeds crime. And our people should not be left to horrible living conditions. And there's commandments in the Bible that if you are a rich man, it is your responsibility to care for the poor, to set things in place so that the poor can eat from your wealth, so that they're not left up unto another nation of people and their mercy to feed and house and prepare a life and a way for them. That is why the tithes are supposed to be given to the men of the Lord, not to wherever church home you choose. The billions of dollars of money that the Christian church collects from blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans every year does not go to fix the problems in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. It goes to jets and boats and yachts and Rolls Royces and new carpets and chairs and bigger church buildings. But it does not go to stop the poverty, the murder, the robbery, the rape, the kidnapping, the homelessness, the drug addiction. It doesn't go to fix our problems, to give us better quality food, better education. These are the responsibilities of the men of the Lord. You in church listening to some sodomite beat a tambourine several times a week and get all of your grandmother's Social Security check. You think that that's what a man of God is. They are not men of God. They don't know the first thing about what God requires in the Bible. Neither does anyone else. Neither did God authorize them to teach. The only men the Lord authorized are under Commander General Yana in the Isupk. And until you and everyone else gets in here to do the work of the Lord, you will never stop the violence. You won't ever stop the murders. You won't ever stop the human trafficking. You won't ever stop the drug addiction. You won't ever stop the bullying. You won't ever stop the drug addiction. You won't stop the overdoses. You won't ever fix any of the problems unless you ask the Lord. And you can only ask the Lord by asking the prophets that he set up, which have all of the answers to every problem that we go over and give in every class that you have not showed up to get. That's why, you understand? Or very few, not enough of our brothers and sisters have reported to get the answers and begin the work to fix our people. There's no way around that. So the Lord says, thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. Because someone has power and authority and wealth and stardom, they should not get a better judgment than someone who is poor that cannot afford a good lawyer. This whole idea and notion that the amount of money you have can determine the level of justice and representation that you get, that's a scam. You understand? Your voting won't change that. That's a scam. The system is rigged and it's set as a scam. Our oppressor runs, this is his system. That's why we are supposed to serve the Lord and build the Lord's system, where he will punish and plague our enemies for harming us.
But that's only if we live the way that he says. So it says, you shall not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. We need judgment. We don't have judgment in our communities now, which is why everything is out of order. From the time you get your bike stolen as a little kid, from the time you get beat up and they take your shoes, from the time that they making fun of you because you're poor, from the time that you understand you can't hear very well or you can't see, and all of the hurdles and everything, we are supposed to be brothers and sisters to one another. But we cannot behave and have brotherhood and sisterhood as long as we are trying to have brotherhood and sisterhood with Arabs and white men and Asians and East Indians and everyone else. You cannot do that. You only have a certain amount of love. A nation that gives love outside of itself cannot be strong. You understand? There would be no America if the Pilgrims and the settlers loved the Native Americans and the Mexicans the way that they loved each other. There would be no America. They would have just left the Native Americans alone and not murdered them and stole their land. But they had love for each other, which made them do horrible things to our people. Now, we are not even saying do horrible things to their people. We're not advocating violence at all. What we are doing is advocating that our people learn to love each other and not give our love away to another nation. That is how we be the Lord's children. All right. So it says, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. You're supposed to judge your neighbor in righteousness. What are the judgments that we have? We are all supposed to live by these rules. Our people being raised, we don't even know these rules. We don't know what they are. You understand? So it says, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer. Someone telling lies. You understand? A ton of sisters do this. You spread the rumors all on the internet, trying to get some beef, some drama stirred up so you can get some attention. Brothers is doing this same thing now. You understand? After decades of being raised by mommy without a man to stop all of this unnecessary, talking and all of this nonsense, starting trouble everywhere, because there's no one to tell you to mind your damn business and stay out of their marriage, stay out of their relationship, stay out of their business. You need to be over here. Don't be all in their business. Let that man run his house. Nobody getting murdered, nobody getting beat, nobody getting kidnapped, nobody getting raped. Let them run their house. Stay out of it. Mind your business. You understand? Without putting things in their proper order, everything would just turn to chaos. And no one likes living in that chaos. You understand? But we here to fix all of that. Among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. Don't do that. The Lord has said, don't stand against the blood of your neighbor. Hey, shalom. Yahweh Shem Shem Barakatah. Hey, shalom, Cap. Yahweh Shem Shem Barakatah. The Lord said, I am the Lord. I'm the Most High. Like, this is what the Lord wants in our mind. You understand? Don't stand against the blood of your neighbor. Don't do that. We shouldn't allow and accept murders and crimes all throughout the neighborhood. That has become acceptable by us accepting our oppressor's culture. You understand? Trying to be like him in his movies, his Dirty Harry, you understand? His, who else? His Die Hard, his Terminator, his 80s, 90s action movies, you understand? Decades of that and trying to be the Godfather. Then what do you have later on? You got paid in full. You got state property. You got black people trying to be the mafia and the Don. Like the Lord said, don't join another nation of people and take their culture, because this is what happened. Black women trying to be Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe wasn't happy with her own damn life. They exploited her and did all kind of things. Why? Because she was not under the authority and protection of her husband, which is why we had the insulation in our culture, because our people were more married than white people were. That's why our societies functioned better. That's why they had to come and burn them down and steal our wealth, because their society wasn't working. You understand? That's why they had us in slavery for hundreds of years. We made them great. They didn't make themselves great. You understand? So Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. What does it mean to hate your brother? All of these things that we're reading are God's laws, statutes, and commandments. These are the Lord's commandments. So if the love of God is to keep the commandments, mean to do what it says here, obey these rules, then hate is to not obey these rules. So when it says thou shalt not hate thy brother, what would it mean to hate thy brother? To go and tell lies on your brother, be a talebearer. Go and tell lies on your brother, lies on your sister. A lot of sisters is trying to get your marriage broken up. You got some single sister all in everybody's business because she is so miserable, because she is in charge of her life and she's allowed to wear what she want, have sex with who she want, say what she want, and her decisions are ruining her life. And she sees that your life is not ruined, and she wants you to have a horrible life with her. She doesn't want you being a wife and a mother and having a family and a relationship that shows her the reflection of all the horrible decisions that she has made, having hot girl summer her whole goddamn life. Well, now she wants stories to break up your relationship. I seen your man doing this. I seen this and that. You understand? That is hatred. How do we know? These are the rules the Lord said. If you go against them, then you hate your brother, you hate your sister. It's very simple. It's not magic. You don't have to be able to dance. You don't have to be able to sing. You understand? It's very simple. You understand? If you do unrighteousness in judgment, if R. Kelly has millions of dollars for a lawyer and everybody allows him off from molesting babies for 20, 30 damn years since the days of 12 play when he married Aaliyah, because he's rich, everybody just accepts him and just looks the other way. Or Michael Jackson, everybody just accepts him and looks the other way because he's rich. But a poor brother, because he doesn't have a record contract and he's not a star, he doesn't sing your favorite songs, he's supposed to get the same punishment for being a nasty child molester that R. Kelly was back then, not 30, 40 years later, after he racked up, God knows how many charges. Like, that's an unrighteous way of living. And that unrighteousness is what rules our society, because the Christian church has taught everyone to go along and get along and know God personally for yourself, and everybody do their own thing, and God still loves us no matter what. That breeds disunity. That breeds mistrust. That breeds hatred. That breeds confusion. That breeds murder. That breeds lack of accountability. The Lord was instilling in us values to have morals, to have a society, to be a family, to have our communities and our nation put together. And all of it is gone because we have followed unrighteous, unmoral leaders. You understand? So when it says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart, if you scamming your brother, you running game on your brother, you running scams, you telling them these is Jordans and you sell them a box of fake shoes that's doing layups, you hate your brother. If you say, I got this 100% leather coat and you know it's polyester and something else, but you charge him money like he buying 100% leather, you hate your brother. If you tell your sister you're going to sell her a purse, or these is 100% this, and them not real red bottoms, or they not real Gucci or Donna Karan, what you say, you sell her some scam thing knowingly, you hate your sister. How do we know? These are the rules right here. God made it plain and simple. You understand? The Lord said, don't hate your brother in your heart. What is your heart? That's your mind. Your mind. Your mind controls what you do. That's why the Lord said, put these words in your heart, in your spirit, in your mind, so that you will not sin against your brother. You will not sin against the Most High. Don't hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor. You're supposed to be able to tell your neighbor what he's doing wrong. You're supposed to be able to go and talk to he and thee, or she and thee alone, and be able to talk to them. Like, listen, you got no business talking to me like that. What's going on? Why are you doing this? Why are you saying that? And if you've been raised properly, you won't be so arrogant and full of yourself that no one can come and speak to you and say, well, listen, like, we're not supposed to be dealing with each other this way. Why you keep talking to me like this? Why you keep saying this? Why you doing this? You see what I got going on over here? You're supposed to be able to go to he and thee alone. We can't do that. Everybody's so proud. Nobody better not play with me. Nobody better not say nothing to me. They know how I get down. I ain't doing no talking. That is not masculinity. That's not how a man operates. The Bible says, judge no matter before you've heard the cause. How the hell you know how to respond to a situation before you found out what's going on? Christianity put that evil inside of us to react like our oppressors. You understand? Shoot first, ask questions last. That's not our culture. That's white man's culture. You understand? That was never our culture. And the Lord is saying, in any wise, rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. You understand? Don't allow sin to happen to him. What is a sin? Breaking these laws, statutes, and commandments. Don't allow Rob to say, listen, brother, you can't be out here selling these shoes. Don't say nothing, man. You know, I'm trying to get my no, brother. You can't be out here robbing and scamming people. Because if we allow you in this community robbing and scamming everybody, the community can't trust each other anymore. I can't trust you. If every brother that looks like you I see, I think about how you robbed me, how you scammed me. You told me you'd be here at 10, you didn't show up. You told me if I pay you, you was going to do this, you never finished the job. You told me I buy a car, the car worked good, the car break down in 3 days. You understand? Sis said this was your baby, this is not your baby. Said we're going to be together forever. You turn around, sign a sheet of paper and say, I changed my mind. Nothing but a bunch of scams. You understand? And then everybody's my shit. You can't trust niggas. No niggas shit. No shit. Nope. I don't know them. You see, you can't be with too many black people. You can't. Now, Isupk, you can trust black people. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are required to be trustworthy in here. Your yes is yes, your no is no. If it's a problem, then you should say it's a problem. If it's not, then don't say it. If it's not okay, don't. The Bible say, don't be ashamed if it concerneth thy soul. We're not Christians in here. You got a question, ask your question. But ask it right. You'll get an answer. We'll show you. If thy brother offend thee, go to he and thee alone. We got a chain of command and things that get done so that brothers and sisters don't have to just live being violated and robbed and wronged their entire life, which is the life that we have to live out in the world where no one obeys God. You understand? The Lord said, don't suffer sin upon him. Verse 18 says, thou shalt not avenge, means to get revenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. The Lord said, don't look for revenge or bear any grudge against the children of thy people. What does that mean? Does that mean that if you steal my bike and my shoes, I'm just supposed to turn the cheek and just walk away? Hell no. That's not what that means. You understand? We're going to get those shoes and that bike back. That's not what that means. You're not supposed to steal from your brother. You're supposed to steal or rob, period. That became acceptable once we got away from God's laws. You understand? A rich man is not allowed to steal. A poor man is not allowed to steal. But you in your poverty are not just supposed to be left to struggle and die on your own, which is what rich Negro leaders have allowed to happen. You understand? That was never supposed to be. But the Lord said, don't bear any grudge against the children of your people. That's another Black, Hispanic, or Native American man or woman. That is the children of our people. This does not mean forgive our oppressor for putting us in slavery and murdering us and putting us on reservations and murdering, you understand, and turning and wiping out the Taino, Aztec, Mayan, Incan empire. And now calling them Puerto Rican, calling them Dominican and Haitian. You understand? Calling them Mexican and Guatemalan and El Salvadoran and Peru and Bolivia and Brazil. That does not mean forgive your oppressors or the Hamites for putting us on slave ships and selling us for hundreds of years off the west coast of Africa. The Lord does not require us to forgive them. Like, that's not what the Bible is talking about. You are not to bear a grudge against the children of your people. The only people Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have a problem forgiving is our own people. You understand? But thou shalt love thy neighbor. Who is your neighbor? The children of your people. So when Christ said love thy neighbor, he's talking about love the children of your people, not everybody on the planet. Love is a resource, just like water, just like land, just like resources. Resources are not infinite. You only have so much amount of resources. Love is not infinite. You only have a so much amount of love to give. And our people have given all of our love away to our oppressor. That's why there isn't love left for me to have patience with you. I don't have patience with you. My patience went to forgive our oppressor for Thanksgiving, for the murder, for slavery, for robbery, for Sean Bell, for Tatiana Jefferson, for Breonna Taylor, for George Floyd, for, you understand, for hundreds of years of lynching. So now I don't have love left to forgive you for making me angry at the traffic stop or sitting in this classroom where we all together, all the brothers fighting and hating each other. I don't have any more love left. All my love went to go forgive my oppressor. Now, what is left once all my love is gone? Everybody already knows. You understand? But it says, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. You're supposed to love your neighbor like yourself. How can I love my neighbor as myself? Because we are the same. Because blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the same. You're going to come to the black community, you're going to get fried bread. It's a biscuit. You're going to get a biscuit. You're going to go to the Benjamites, they're going to give you fried bread. It's a dumpling. You're going to go to Gad, you're going to get fried bread. It's fry bread. You understand? Like, we are the same people. We are the children of the same people. Bunch of seasoning, too much of this, too much of that, the same high blood pressure, the same level of gouts, the same stroke, the same broken families, the same ghetto, if you call it a barrio, a favela, a reservation, it's the same. You understand? I'm required to love you like you are me, because we are supposed to treat and deal with each other that way. We can't do that with another nation of people. We're not the same. It doesn't make sense. God is not trying to confuse anybody. Christianity is confusing. You understand? Verse 19, you shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. This means don't intermix your cattle. That's what it's saying. Breed this type of cattle with this type of cattle. Don't mix and match them. You understand? Making hybrid cattle and all of that. Don't do that. All right. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. What does that mean? If you're going to put carrots here, don't put carrots and strawberries in the same field. Make this all carrots. Make this all strawberries. Make this all celery. Make this all greens. Don't mix and mingle things. Let all things be done in decency and in order. You understand? It's telling us how to structure, how to have a nation. Where are the carrots? Oh, I think it's some carrots over there with the, oh, damn, that's not potato. That's squash. Well, what did you plant here? I don't know. You avoid that confusion. It's a lot of wisdom in these laws. You understand? It says, neither shall a garment mingled of woolen and linen come upon thee. What does it mean? You don't have a garment of wool and linen. Does that mean you cannot mix a garment of wool and linen? It's saying, let it be what it is. These are rules and things about how to deal with each other. You understand? So if you're going to sell your brother something, which it goes into detail in another chapter, don't tell him it's 100% leather. Don't scam your brother. If it's 100% leather, tell him. If it's 40% polyester, 30% this, 10% that, tell him. Don't lie to him. Don't scam him. Listen, bro, I'm trying to get some money, this and that. It ain't 100%, but it's nice. You can try it on if you like it. I'll give it to you for this. Don't lie to your brother. Have a conscience about how you live and move and operate. You understand? Don't do that. You understand? A lot of the problems and the mistrust and distrust and anger and frustration we have amongst each other is because we are so used to getting lied to, violated, you understand, all kind of things that if we knew that the Lord did not accept this and were taught better, then we could have a much better society where we would enjoy each other. You understand? Without fighting and hollering in the damn hallway, in the streets, all in the grocery store, in the mall, all at school, we would have a much better life. You understand? Our societies would be better. The children would be happier. Rules. That is one thing we don't have as a people. Rules. These are the rules that God gave us so that we can maintain ourselves and have a society, you understand, and be God's chosen people. All right? So, all right, with that, let's get this up here. So we'll wrap it up here. All right. And with that, I'm going to say Ahmadium, which means to stand. We'll do the Lord's Prayer. All right. So it's up here, Ahmadium, Wapanya Hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. All right. We'll set up these prayers. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew and in the English. All right. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak Wefka, Taba'a, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, the Thunder Nawa, Lakam, Cow, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Chabawath Yanawa, Salaki, Wasalak Nawa, Chabawathi Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Chabawath Yanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapara, La'awalamyam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Prayer for the power. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Wabakwashaw, Nathan Lenawa, Haka, Haka, Lara Pa'a, Kal Makala, Wakal Madawa, Haka, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Haka, Lahakwiyan, Hamathian, Haka, Al Rakawa, Hatama Allah, Lagarishan, by Shim Yahweh, the water Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Salakia. Please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Right? Prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Barak Lanawa. Wayasha Allah. Wahabayah. Saparia. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The water. Aman. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. All right. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a, Ayanya, Al-Hahorya, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Izoria, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratasa, Al-Yathan, Namawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemorka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemorka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamorka, Nakara, Yashamor, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamor, Tazaathka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'aid, Iwalam, Aman. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83. Alahayim. Al damayalaka wa al thakarash. Al kaya hana awayabyaka yahama yawan wa mashanayaka nasha'awa ra'ash. Al Aimaka, Yarayamwa, Sawad, Wayataya Tazawa, Al Tazapa Wanyaka, Amarwa, Nakawa, Wanakakida, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawai Tazawa, La, Nawai Tazawa, La, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Ahaya, Adawam, Wayashima Mawaba, Wahagorian, Gabal, Wa I'm a one, Wa I'm a lock, Palashath, I'm Yeshabia, Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasaya Saraa, Kayabian, Banakal, Wayashwan,
Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, the month, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nadayamawa, Ka'ira, Wakazaaba, Wakazaba, Wakatazal Manai, Kao, Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarisha, Lanawa, Af, Na'awa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Ka'ash, Taba'ira Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Har Yum, Kun, Tharadakma, Basa Irika, Wabasawapaska, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Punyaham, Kualawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shimka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Yabashwa, Wayabaawa, Aidiai, Wayachaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shimka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al-Yawan, Al-Kal, Ha'aratazab, Amun. And in the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies have making it Salakia. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. They have consulted together. Salakia, they have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of La. Selah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Jabin, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb. Yea, all their princes as Abah and as Almunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. All right. Prayer for the blessing, for the power structure. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Allahayim. Matazab Ya'ah Allah Wap Yahana. Ha Allah Wapyam. Ha Saranyam. Ha Kwatazayanyam. Ha Kadayawayam. Waha Wafia, Yahweh, Shim Yahweh Shah, the Wada Amon. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and Gates, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. Curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers in the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel. Shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel. Shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Ku Klux Klan, militia, Egyptology, Aryan nation, skinheads, posse comitazi, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, cable access channels and the radio channels. Open up the internet and the airwaves. Open up the internet and the airwaves, cable access channels and radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your word throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Let loose all the plagues. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. Right. And with that, Sar, this means to turn, right? Of Israel, gonna give one courtesy salute. Go. Brothers, men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Madim, Barak, Yahweh Bashim Shah Barakathon, Sar, which means to turn. Gonna give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Madim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Al Athon, Bashim Yahushua, Yadi Matah, class dismissed. All right. That, Shalom.